Hello, hello, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Victor Onyolo bringing you warm greetings, warm regards from the stable of Unchained Vibes Africa. We bid all our guests from all the parts of Nigeria, all the parts of Africa, and all the parts of the world a warm welcome to the Labarina premiere. Ladies and gentlemen, it's good to have you this morning. I hope you're doing good. So I'm just quickly going to run us through I'm going to run us firstly through the agenda so you can, understand and grasp what to expect per time. And then I also take us through, some etiquettes that we should abide by. Plus, I think you already know that we should keep up to date with our social media platforms, with all our social media platforms. Wherever you are, we are there. So just, on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, wherever you are, we're there, okay? And then you can also check our website, www.unchainedvibesafrica.com, to stay up to date with all our programs and activities. Ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome. I want you to know that this event is strictly for civic engagement. No campaign, no partisan politics, no incitement, and no hate speech. No personal attacks either. So it's strictly for civic engagement. Please, a lot of emphasis is placed on this. Ladies and gentlemen, always remember that in your comments, in your questions, in your contribution to this event. Just remember that. During the course of this event, well, if you have comments, you want to share something, you want to contribute, you can leave that in the chat box, ladies and gentlemen. If you're joined live on Facebook, right below you, just right below, you can see the chat box right there. Leave your comments. We will call on them, and then we see how we can engage as many contributions as possible. And hopefully yours come up, and we're able to tackle it. Hausa language is largely used in the content of this premiere. I just want to also state that. So please pay attention to the subtitle if you don't understand Hausa. Hausa is a beautiful language. I'm going to urge us to also try to add that to our catalog. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome. Once again, I'm going to run us through just 1 minute, and we're going to go right into it. So right after this, ladies and gentlemen, we will be screening a video introducing you to UVA, introducing you to us. And by that, we're going to have one of the management members, the person of the Green Queen of Africa, who's going to enlighten us with emphasis on the organization, giving the official welcome address. Shortly after that, we're going to meet the artist of the day. We're going to meet AGY. And, we're going to get to have that first meeting with him. That will be the first meeting for this premiere. Shortly after which, the executive producer will give us a little backstory, on the intervention and timelines and, things that we need to know before we now hear from AGY himself, who championed a video that was commissioned by Unchained Vibes Africa about his story, about his true life story. Shortly after that, we'll be spotlighting the artist himself. I hope we have the opportunity to meet the artist himself. And then we're going to get goodwill messages from organizations, partners who were key contributors to the artist story, who played key roles in the artist story. We're going to be hearing, getting some goodwill messages from them. And then, we're closing up right after that. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please sit down, sit tight, sit comfortably where you are, and just feast your eyes on the screen right now while I introduce you to us, while I introduce you to UVA.
Art is power, music is freedom, and expression knows no chains. Welcome to Unchained Vibes Africa, a movement where creativity fuels change and voices rise unshackled. More than just an organization, UVA is a force, harnessing the power of music, film, and performers to spark conversations, challenge narratives, and shape the future. Through live concerts, thought-provoking productions, and artist-driven activism, we champion civic education, human rights, and cultural diversity. We amplify the voices that matter, the voices that refuse to be silenced. And today, we bring you something truly special. Ladies and gentlemen, music lovers, dreamers worldwide, this is not just a premiere. This is an experience, a story told through rhythm and vision, a journey crafted by AGY Yakasai that demands to be seen, heard, and felt. So turn up the volume, feel the energy, and let the music take you beyond the ordinary, because this is just the beginning. Beginning.
Wow, that was a very interesting one. Well, if you feel like you've not really met the organization properly, to do proper justice to that, ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome a three-time royalty, ladies and gentlemen, the Green Queen of Africa.
Hello, good morning. Welcome once again to this premiere. So I'll be introducing the organization that's hosting today's event, Unchained Vibes Africa. Unchained Vibes Africa, popularly known as UVA, is a cultural organization and a social enterprise that's committed to developing arts and culture projects that are geared towards social causes. Our mission is to leverage the power of the arts to promote civic education, good governance, human rights, cultural diversity, and the spirit of solidarity in Africa. Now, how do we work? Productions. We produce works of art that address social, political, economic, and environmental problems in Africa, using music like we are doing today, drama, visual arts, spoken word poetry, and comedy. Events. We organize concerts, talk shows, and live performances that highlight social issues, that create awareness, and we sensitize the public. Capacity building. We help artists and cultural practitioners further develop their skills and their managerial capabilities. We design workshops and professional trainings in cultural entrepreneurship, in cultural advocacy, copyright protection, and so on. So far, Unchained Vibes Africa have focused more on the funded workshop in pursuit of the Freedom Vibes Project, our cultural exchange. We develop initiatives that encourage respect for cultural diversity and promote intercultural understanding. Today, we are very proud to unveil Labarina, a powerful music video that tells the story of AGY Yakasai, a musician whose artistic expression led to his unjust imprisonment. You'll be hearing more about AGY as the day goes on. His story is a stark reminder of the threats faced by artists who dare to speak truth to power. Labarina is more than just a video. It's a bold statement against censorship and a testament to the resilience of creative voices fighting their right to be heard, just as we continue to do at Unchained Vibes Africa. Have a wonderful session with us. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, we have heard from the GQ herself about the organization, about our work, about what we do, how we do what we do, why we do what we do, our motivation. Ways already know this face, from the industry of over years and centuries of work. So now, like she said, you know more about AGY when we go further. Now we're going a little further. Ladies and gentlemen, coming right next, we will be meeting this artist. Who is AGY? Now, some of you are here, some of you might be wondering, who is this person who's so courageous? Who is this person you've been hearing about? Who is this person that, the noise and all the fuss, who's this person, If you have that question, but that question is just about to be tackled. Ladies and gentlemen, sit tight as we screen the video that introduces you to the artist.
Of human rights violation, and is here with me because it went through some certain things, and I think you guys need to hear about it. So, hello, my name is Mo. Can we get to meet you?
My name is Muhammad Yusuf. Kuma ni dan Yakasai ne.
I understand that she went through some harassment, she went through jail and all of that. What transpired? What happened?
Lokacin da nayi waka ta gwamna akan kuɗi zai iya sayar da gongo 2019 an kama ni an kai ni jail kurkuku kenan. Ana cewa na yi wa gwamna waka na zage shi a cikin wakar, kuma aka yanke min hukuncin shekara ɗaya. Na je na zauna shekara ɗayan nan na fito, to wannan rashin adalci ne aka yi min shi, kuma ina da right ɗin da zan kare kaina. Aka tilasta ni sai da na amsa, kuma alhalin cewa wannan wakar da ni ban ambaci sunan gwamna a ciki ba, ban faɗi sunansa ba, kawai cewa ne gwamna akan kuɗi zai iya sai da matarsa, ban ambaci sunansa ba. Na je na zauna shekara ɗaya a gidan yari, sannan na fito. Kuma bayan na fito akwai studio ɗina da aka rufe min sanso, ta je ta kwashe kayana gaba ɗaya ta kulle studio saboda wai na zagi gwamna, kayana sun zama exhibit.
So they basically took your source of living.
Confirm, an raba ni da hanyar da nake cin abinci, kuma su 'yan siyasar da newa waƙan nan su ba su taimake ni ba.
But you were able to get help, weren't you? Some people were able to stand up for you. I believe Unchained Vibes came through and a couple of people came through. Right? From that time till this moment, how have you been able to cope? Have you been able to come back to what you were doing before?
Akwai wayanda suka taimake ni. Akwai kungiya Committee for Rebellion Heart CORA ta tsayar min da lauyoyi guda 2 lokacin ina gidan yari, kuma ba su samu damar zuwa gare ni ba har dai na fito. To wannan kungiya Committee for Rebellion Heart CORA ta taimake ni 100%, domin har ta bani wasu 'yan amount ma wanda zan je na yi checking din lafiya ta saboda na ciyo dose a gidan yari. Akwai kungiyoyi da yawa waɗanda suka taimake ni, wasu zan iya faɗar su, wasu kuma babu damar da zan faɗe su saboda lokaci. Daga lokacin da na shiga gidan yari na samu kalubale da yawa bayan na fito daga cikin wannan gida, domin an raba ni da hanyar cin abinci na, kuma komai ya rushe min gaba ɗaya. Amma yanzu wannan kungiya da take yi da ni Unchained Vibes Africa ta ɗauki ƙudurin za ta taimake ni insha Allah, kuma ta taimake ni ma tun a baya, kuma yanzu ma tana ɗaukan niyyar za ta taimake ni. Yanzu ni mawaƙi ne da waƙa nake cin abinci, kuma ina da studio wanda nake zuwa na ɗan yi waƙoƙi na sake su a gari. Sannan ina ɗan yin harkar man shafawa shi ma, wanda nake iya haɗa man ma da hannuna, shi ma ina producing ɗinsa, ina sakinsa bayan waƙa da nake yi.
How do you think we can get through all of this problem of censorship, harassment? In your opinion, how do you think we can get through them Is it something from your part or something you need to put into place to make them stop all of this?
Akwai gudunmawar da zan bayar 100% wajen cewa na ga an daina cin zarafin mawaƙa, domin hakan ba daidai ba ne ba. Akwai waƙa guda 2 da zan saki saboda a gyara. Ina jan hankali a cikin waƙar ga sansu ta daina kama mawaƙa idan sun faɗi ra'ayinsu, saboda kowanne mawaƙi yana da freedom ɗin da zai yi waƙa ya faɗakar da shugaba. To kuma amma a wannan lokacin idan mutum ya fito ya faɗi ra'ayinsa sai a yi amfani da wannan damar sai a kama shi. Ba dama mawaƙi ya faɗi ra'ayinsa akan mutanen da suke abin da ba daidai ba, musamman shugabanni. To akwai waƙar da zan yi guda 2 ina jan hankali a cikin waƙar wasansu da duk wani mai hannu da shuni a cikin kamun mawaƙa.
Okay, so you've heard from him, and the truth is they cannot stop the work of art. The more they try to harass and they try to put us down, we'll keep getting up one more step ahead of that.
Such a heartwarming story indeed. And he only just gave us a summary. A lot of you are very much interested in knowing more about this character, this very interesting character. AGY is somebody who reminds us of resilience in the true sense of the word, and not just about, the theory. I'm just reflecting here. It's a lot of courage for somebody to step up like that, and speak out for his society, speak out for his environment, speak out for what affects him, speak out in truth, speaking the truth to power. And, to buttress more on this character, AGY, ladies and gentlemen, please make a warm welcome for the executive producer of Unchained Vibes Africa, who will take us through a little backstory on AGY, and also give us milestones, those thresholds that were in between this particular story that he is trying to tell us. He is trying to tell his audience. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, a round of applause for the executive producer.
Thank you very much, Victor. Yang uwana Kano, yang uwana Arewa gabadaya na gaishe ku. On behalf of Unchained Vibes Africa na gaishe ku. On behalf of Unchained Vibes Africa, it's our pleasure to host this event today, a very important event, because it's a statement, it's a bold statement of an artist reclaiming his voice, reclaiming his rights, reclaiming his fundamental right of artistic freedom. We all recall that in 2018, in October 2018, a video went viral, published by an online news source called Daily Nigeria, where a governor, a former governor of Kano, who was a sitting governor at the time, was caught on camera pocketing some bundles of dollars. At that time, even if the video was doctored as alleged by some of the politicians who were affected, there was no effort to investigate the video, the authenticity of the video at the time. And that resulted in wide reactions from citizens, not just in Kano, from across the country. That was when the slogans like Gandolas and other acronyms were created. So AGY Yakasai, a singer, a very conscious singer, used his music as a form of activism to address the issue. Peaceful protest is a fundamental right, and as a citizen, he exercised his fundamental right by going into the studio, leveraging the power of music to add his voice to the outcry calling for investigation for to authenticate the video that was making the round on social media. What he did was very commendable because many people were afraid to address the issues. Governments and authorities did not take action as to investigating these allegations. It was a major scandal in the political landscape in Nigeria. This artist also leveraged his artistic imaginations, his artistic license. He did not call the governor's name. He did not call him by name. He went to the studio, recorded a song which addressed this dollar issue. It was picked up and prosecuted. So I'm not going to say further than that, other than to just highlight how we intervened as an organization, and it's a network of organization and cultural activists who protect artistic freedom. Big shout out to the Committee for Relevant Art, CORA, who was the organization on the ground. Some of us were outside Nigeria. Big shout out to CORA, the Committee for Relevant Art. Big shout out to veteran, legendary Ade Bantu, Nigerian German music icon and Artwork Africa ambassador. Big shout out. Big shout out to Artists at Risk Connection. Big shout out to Wow, the bad guy, multi-award winning Nigerian rapper and singer, Fowls. Big shout out to the indefatigable Professor Wale Soyinka and all. To round that off is African Defenders Network, who actually did a wonderful job, including petitioning the African Commission on People's Rights. So I will, on behalf of Unchained Vibes Africa, I will pass on the responsibility now to the production crew to please screen this Labarina, this compelling story of AGY, for us to have some insights into what this artist went through to reclaim his voice after the prosecution. Thank you very much.
Talaka kana haƙuri, sanni da mu sarkin haƙuri, shugabanni ba sa duba mu duk sun canja hali. Waƙar yan jije, shugabanni ga zaƙo. Hura! Talaka kana haƙuri, sanni da mu sarkin haƙuri, shugabanni ba sa duba mu duk sun canja hali. Waƙar yanci ce, shugabanni ga zago. Yanzu kasar mu ana da kuwa, ba yaro kuma babu uwa. Masu kiba sun yi raguwa, yunwa ta kore nutsuwa. Ta kore nutsuwa. Tun mulkin sojoji tun kafin farar hulawa. Burin talakawa shine abin miƙawa baki. Na farar hular mu a gashi, mun gagara samun sauki. Komai ya iya sauya a ƙasan nan, ya haka ne dai. Mun gwada wancan baiwa, kuma mun gwada wannan baiwa. Wa za mu riƙe a ƙasan nan ne, mu jiyo sanyi ga talakawa a cikin yanayi. Makurar zafi, mai neman nama da ɗaya, to ya siyo kifi. Mai neman gyara a ƙasa, to ya riƙe Allah, shi ne mafitar mu kawai ba gaza. Talaka kana haƙuri, sanni da mu sarkin haƙuri, shugabanni ba sa duba mu duk sun canja hali. Waƙar yanci ce, shugabanni ga sako. AGY an cuce ni, kuma an zalunce ni, dan nayi waka ai gyara, rannan sai suka kama ni. Police station suka kai ni, in sati na bi ciki, suna ta faman tambaya. Wane ne wai ya sani na yo hakan nan sati na bi ciki.
Talaka kana hakuri, sanni da mu sarkin hakuri. Shugabanni ba sa duba mu, duk sun canja hali. Wakar yanci ce, shugabanni ga sako.
CID na ta bincike, a kai na zara ido suke. Ni kuma zuciya na dake, na ce musu ban yi laifi ba. Waka ta na kan daidai, sun dage sai na amsa. Ni kuma na gina miƙa wuya, kotu can suka miƙa ni. Sun ƙi jin tausaina.
Talaka kana hakuri, sanni da mu sarkin hakuri. Shugabanni ba sa duba mu, duk sun canja hali. Wakar yanci ce, shugabanni ga sako.
Sai gana akan canwa, alƙali tuni ya shirya. Ya ma ɗauki waranti na, ya ce da ni waƙar da na yo. Laifi ce a cikin doka, ka taɓa gwamna na Kanawa. A yanzu ni zan ɗaure ka,
ba zan fasa ba. Talaka kana hakuri, sanni da mu sarkin hakuri. Shugabanni ba sa duba mu, duk sun canja hali. Wakar yanci ce, shugabanni ga sako.
Lauyoyi biyu suka tashi, sun zo za su kare ni. Suna ta roƙon alfarma, a ba su beli na take. Alƙali ya yo magana, ya ce musu ba wata alfarma. Wannan laifi ne babba, ya dage sai ya ɗaure ni. Shekara biyu ya rubuta, wa'adina a gidan yari. Har da faɗin gaba na ƙara, ba maganar sassauci ba. Kwarai an ci mutunci na.
Talaka kana hakuri, sanni da mu sarkin hakuri. Shugabanni ba sa duba mu, duk sun canja hali. Wakar yanci ce, shugabanni ga sako.
Yanzu ƙasa ta an ji jiki, Najeriyan mu ta yi baki. Mun rasa wane ne murki, mun rubuta a ciki. Ga talakawa a ƙasa, duk suna fama a ciki. Allah kawo jan zaki, wanda zai sassaita ƙasa. Mun ji jiki.
Talaka kana hakuri, sanni da mu sarkin hakuri. Shugabanni ba sa duba mu, duk sun canja hali. Wakar yanci ce, shugabanni ga sako.
Zanga-zanga ta lumana, mun yi ba laifi ne ba. Mun fito ai kore mu, ko kuma dai ai kama mu. Karshe ma ai ɗaure mu, wannan ba daidai ne ba. Ba daidai ne ba. Shugaba bai gyara ba, mu ba za mu ki bore ba. Zanga-zanga ta lumana, ba don haɗa tarzoma ba.
Talaka kana hakuri, sanni da mu sarkin hakuri. Shugabanni ba sa duba mu, duk sun canja hali. Wakar yanci ce, shugabanni ga sako.
Muna da yancin fadakarwa, sannan minu zantarwa. In an rufe mana bakinmu, to an tauye haƙƙinmu. A bar mu a kama mu, masu fim ɗin fadakarwa, da shugaba ya yi gyarawa. Suna da yancin fadakarwa, a bar musu damar su, a bar ma kama su. Marubuta masu rubutu, da shugaba ya yi gyarawa. Suna da yancin fadakarwa, a bar ma kama su. Yan TikTok na dagewa, da shugaba ya yi gyarawa. Suna da yancin fadakarwa, a bar musu damar su, a bar ma kama su. Kama waka na wake, da shugaba ya yi gyarawa. Muna da yancin fadakarwa, a bar mana damar mu. In an rufe mana bakinmu, to an tauye haƙƙinmu, a bar ma daure mu. Akwai freedom cikin ƙasa, demokaradiyya muka yi, ba mulkin sojoji ba. Ku ji yan na'u, ba mulkin sojoji ba.
Talaka kana hakuri, sanni da mu sarkin hakuri. Shugabanni ba sa duba mu, duk sun canja hali. Wakar yanci ce, shugabanni ga sako.
Na shiga kurkuku don waka, na ga nasara kan waka, na ga faduwa kan waka, na ga masoya kan waka, na yi kuka akan waka, na yi dariya kan waka. Allah ne ke dafa mun, ba fa mutum mai gori ba. Unchained mata dafa mu, wajen shari'a ta haska mu, wayar da ni bata fasa ba. Unchained Vibes Africa tana can Legas dai, jallato abuwana ayya.
Talaka kana hakuri, sanni da mu sarkin hakuri. Shuwagabanni ba sa duba mu, duk sun canja hali. Waƙar yanci ce, shuwagabanni ga sako.
AGY na zama aya, ko kuma dai in ce darasi. Ana ta ɗaure mu mawaƙa, wannan ba daidai ne ba. Ƙwarai ba daidai ne ba. A cikin daidai, wannan ba daidai ne ba. Ayya,
Ku ji dai wannan,
ga haƙurin talakawa ya ƙare.
ku ji dai wannan,
An yi bugun sa'ada kuma sun daure.
ku ji dai wannan,
Shugabanni kun samun zare.
ku ji dai wannan.
Jariri olsa na kama shi
A cikin ƙasa,
ya Allah sarki kai sassauci ga talakawa.
talaka kana hakuri, sanni da mu sarkin hakuri. Shuwagabanni ba sa duba mu, duk sun canja hali. Waƙar yanci ce, shuwagabanni ga sako.
Ina godiya ga wayanda suka taimake ni, ba zan iya manta da su ba a rayuwa. Committee for Rebellion at CORA da kuma Unchained Vibes Africa da kuma African Dependence Network da kuma Artist at Risk Connection ARC. Ina gode musu sosai, sun taimake ni a rayuwa, ba zan manta da su ba. Da kuma duk wanda ya zo wannan bidiyon aka ɗauka tare da shi, shi ma ina masa bangajiya, ina gode masa. Ba zan iya mantawa da ƙoƙarin da ya mun a rayuwa ba. Na gode masoyana, ina tare da ku.
Talaka kana hakuri, sanni da mu sarkin hakuri. Shuwagabanni ba sa duba mu, duk sun canja hali. Waƙar yanci ce, shuwagabanni ga sako.
Ladies and gentlemen, that you have just watched is the Labarina video. We will be going into the interactive session. I just want to remind all our guests, all our viewers, that this event is strictly for civic engagement. No campaigns, no partisan politics, no incitement, no hate speech, or personal attacks. Now, shortly after this video, where we will be interacting with AGY, where an interaction will take place in Kano by our Unchained Vibes Africa representatives, Ricky Ultra and Dr. Pure, with the said artist AGY. Want to let them know that you guys will be coming up to the studio, and we will be having that interaction, so you can get ready. Ladies and gentlemen, please fix your eyes on the screen one more time for this interaction. We are spotlighting our whole focus right now on AGY. Let's go.
Talaka kana haƙuri, sanni da mo sarkin haƙuri. Shuwagabanni ba sa kishin mu, udu sun canja hali. Waƙar yanci ce. Haƙuri, sanni da mo sarkin sa kishin mu, udu sun canja hali. Waƙar yanci ce, shuwagabanni ga saƙo. Yanzu ƙasar mu ana da kuwa ba yaro.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're most welcome to the official premiere of AGY's masterpiece titled Labarina, which means My Story, courtesy of Unchained Vibes Africa. My name is Ricky Ultra, alongside Saifullahi Ibrahim, known as Dr. Pure. We will be taking you on a jolly good ride with AGY to find out what he has in stock for us. Stay tuned.
Maraba lalle masu sauraron mu da kuma masu kallon mu. Wato kun ji abin da ɗan uwana Ricky Ultra ya faɗa, wato da ni Dr. Pio da shi Ricky Ultra insha Allahu ko in ce da shi zai gabatar muku, ni dan sa ido zan fito ina daga gefe ɗaya, wato ina ankarar da ku abin da suke faɗa da shi da AGY. Amma dai Unchained Vibes Africa su ne suka ɗau nauyin wato wannan shirin da kuke kallo, suka ɗau nauyin bidiyo in kuma insha Allahu za ku ga abin da aka tanadar muku. Yadda Ricky Ultra ya faɗa muku, ni ma zan ƙara nanata muku, kada ku motsa.
AGY, you are a conscious artist, a songwriter, and definitely an advocate for peace. Your songs have actually led to your imprisonment with the government, yet you still do this particular type of songs. What motivates you to carry on with such type of conscious music, despite the challenges you're facing?
Wato ɗan uwanmu AGY Yakasai, abinda muke so mu sani a matsayinka na mawaƙi, marubucin waƙoƙi da kuma ɗan gwagwarmaya, wato me yasa har yanzu ka ci gaba da ɗaukin layin irin waɗannan waƙoƙin duk da dai irin wato ƙalubalen da kake fuskanta daga wajen hukumomi? Ka gane ai mun ga har yanzu ka ƙi ka daina. To shine Ultra yake so ya kai mana bayani, wato wani dalilai ne suke ƙara baka ƙarfin gwiwa duk da ƙalubalen da kake fuskanta kuma kake ci gaba da irin wannan waƙoƙin na jan kunne da na faɗakarwa?
So alhamdulillah, kamar yanda aka yi min tambaya akan concept ɗina na faɗakar da shugabanni kuma yana jawo min ruɗani na a kama ni ko kuma a kulle ni, to kuma ana tambaya ta duk da hakan ina ci gaba da irin wannan concept ɗin na waƙoƙin faɗakar da shugabanni, zan daina ne ko kuma a'a zan ci gaba da yi? To abin da yake ƙara min ƙarfin gwiwa da ba zan iya ma daina wannan waƙoƙi na faɗakar da shugabanni ba, sakamakon duba da har yanzu su shugabannin ba su san ma menene mulki ba, ba su ma sanya ake yin shugabanci ba. A cikin waƙoƙina ina nusantar da shugabanni menene ma shugabanci, da kuma su mutanen gari su ƙara sanin su wane ne.
AGY, do you believe that artists have the responsibility to actually speak out against this injustice, or should the art form itself be different from the political side? How does your song Labarina reflect on this particular situation?
A wannan gabar so nake masan kai a ra'ayinka, wato shi mawaƙi yana da alhaki, ka gane, na fitowa da magana akan zalunci na shugabanni da kuma irin zaluncin da ke gani, ko kuma wato ba shi da wannan daman, ba shi ya kamata ya dinga fitowa ba. Amma dai kuma duba da waƙar taka Labarina, wato wani irin gudunmuwa ita ta bayar, wani rawa ta taka ga wato faɗakarwa ga su shugabannin?
To alhamdulillah, kamar yadda aka yi min wannan tambaya, mawaƙi shine wanda ya cancanta ya fito ya yi magana akan abubuwan da suke faruwa a ƙasa, saboda ita waƙa ita ce hanya mafi sauƙi wajen isar da saƙo one time. Yanzu saƙo sai ya je inda shi mawaƙin ma bai je ba.
Looking at the fact that you've spent some time in jail, do you think that the fight for artistic freedom is worth it?
A nan kuma so muke mu sani AGY, a matsayinka na wanda ya shiga kurkuku kuma ya fito yanzu ka samu 'yanci, kana ganin wato wannan gwagwarmayar na ƙwatar 'yanci, na wato samun damar yin abinda wato mutum yake da haƙƙi ya yi ko ake hana shi, kana ganin wato yana da amfani, zai haifar da ɗa mai ido ga masu yi, masu gwagwarmaya irin ku?
To alhamdulillah, kamar yadda aka yi min tambaya akan gwagwarmaya, zan daina ko kuma na shiga kurkuku dalilin gwagwarmaya, idan da na fito zan ci gaba da gwagwarmaya ko kuma a'a zan koma baya. To alhamdulillah, ita dai gwagwarmaya abu ce wadda ni da na fara ta ne domin in wayarwa da mutane kai, to kuma har ta kai ni da na shiga gidan gyaran hali, kuma da na shiga wannan gida har zuwa fitowata ni gogewa ma na ƙara yi akan gwagwarmaya. Ni yanzu a shirye nake da na bada rayuwata ma akan wannan gwagwarmaya da nake yi.
Organizations like Unchained Vibes Africa and CORA have played a significant and important role in your release. How important do you think collaboration and solidarity is in terms of artistic freedom for artists? And what messages do you have for artists who are in similar struggles just the way you found yourself?
Muna so mu san da akwai ƙungiyoyi kamar su Unchained Vibes Africa UVA da Committee for Relevant Art CORA, wani irin wato gudunmuwa suka bayar don ganin cewa an sake ka, ko in ce ma wani gudunmuwa suka bayar a wajen wato sakinka da aka yi a baya kenan, kuma kai kanka wani irin shawara kake da shi ga mawaƙa, musamman ma muhimmancin irin waɗannan ƙungiyoyin da haɗaka tsakanin irin waɗannan ƙungiyoyin da mu mawaƙa, don saboda ganin mutum ya samu 'yancin faɗin ra'ayin kansa.
To alhamdulillah, Unchained Vibes Africa da kuma CORA gaskiya sun taimake ni sosai shiga na gidan gyaran hali, kuma ƙoƙarin da suka yi min sun jajirce tsayin daka da lauyoyinsu da kuma sauran mutanensu ma'aikatansu sun ga sai da na fito na sami 'yancin kaina sannan hankalinsu ya kwanta. Bayan nan suna tare da ni har yanzu suna bani gudunmawa na ci gaba da harkar waƙe-waƙe na da nake yi. So ni ina jan hankali da sauran mawaƙa 'yan uwana da su shiga cikin waɗannan ƙungiyoyi domin su ci gaba da wayar da su, kuma su ma nan gaba ba a san menene zai faru da mawaƙi ba, to waɗannan ƙungiyoyi kariya ne ga dukkan wani mawaƙi da yake Najeriya gaba ɗaya. Alhamdulillah, ina gode wa dukkan wannan ƙungiyoyi da suka bani gudunmawa wajen ganin na fito daga gidan gyaran hali na samu 'yanci, freedom.
That was a very interactive session with AGY. We're taking it live to Kano. Shouting out to Dr. Pure. Can you hear me? Yeah. Dr. Pure. Ricky Ultra, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
All right, so I'm just going to pass the baton to Kano Studio to just give a brief, brief talk, brief goodwill message, address your audience. This is Unchained Vibes Africa. We've been live in Lagos, and now so we're sending it now to Kano. Kano, please take it over.
All right, you're most welcome. Actually, this is Kano, okay? Kano Tumbiwa, Kodin Ikazo Ampika. Muna gaishe ku gaba ki ɗaya duk inda kuke a duk faɗin duniya. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are across the globe. This is actually the official premiere of AGY Yakasai's I think what would I say? It's definitely it's a premiere of his
exclusive music video
titled Labarina, which actually means my story. So today, actually, we are together with AGY straight up, and we will definitely be asking questions. We'll be looking at the feedbacks you people have, definitely. But before then, actually, let me hook you up with Dr. Pure so that he'll be able to add more narratives to this particular awesome event.
Yes, and before then, I would like to say this has been a tremendous journey, and from producing the audio to producing the video. I would like to give a big shout out to all of the support and encouragement that UVA has given, not just me, but AGY as well. And I've noticed, and what really warms my heart is the fact that, there's so many people watching us from all over the world, and hopefully you never know where this video will end up.
and we have so many people, yes, and tuning in. I've seen messages from London. I've seen messages from different parts of Nigeria.
Wow.
Yes, and I've got a message here from Abdullah Muhammad. He says, good morning, all watching from the UK, Great Britain.
Wow.
Yes, so greetings to Abdullah, and thank you for tuning in. We've got people like Nuruddin Aribi Salah saying, beautiful, and thank you very much for joining in. Then we have another message here that says, Shegun Aribi Salah, good morning. He's watching from Ekiti State.
Wow.
So, yes, I haven't seen any questions yet, but Mifetau Uba is watching all the way from Kano State. So big shout out to you as well. And I saw some other comments earlier on. Here it says, Kano in the house, and we've been waiting for ages for this. And this one says, wow, just like how Fela was harassed without mentioning their names. Well done, AGY. Yes, we have a message here that says, what a soul. Even in spite of what he went through, he still has this daunting spirit to pursue what he believes in. I really admire his spirit. I bet he's going places. Well, thank you very much for that one. And another message here says, it is truly message these them leaders out there. They need to see this. So this is a message for our leaders out there, and they need to see it. Yes. Then I have another message here, I think, because there's a lot of messages. This is truly awe-inspiring. He's bold and talented. Imagine having many courageous and conscious artists like this guy in Nigeria. The message would be widely spread. Yes, and this one says, if our voices are silenced, our rights are denied. Wow, that's the spirit, man. Truly artistic freedom, when restricted, suffers, but thrives when respected. And this one says, from Victor, AGY is a reminder that you can be resilient and triumphant. And Abdullah Mohammed from the UK says, I know you're bobbing your head, but I can see, yeah. So, which means, yes, they enjoyed the track all the way from the UK.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Exactly. So, we have another very important message from Barrister Kola Alapini. He says, production crew, thank you for sorting out that nagging echo feedback. Well done, guys. Well done, AGY. Thank you very much. Well, this is where I'm going to hand it over to Ricky Ultra so that he can maybe give AGY an opportunity to say something. So AGY kai ma an kana da wani sako ga lokacin ka ne yanzu. Mu ji daga gare ka.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen all over the globe, actually we would like to give maybe let's have a little interactive session with AGY so that we'll be able to understand where he's going to be headed after this particular release of this premiere of this particular song. So AGY Yakasai, what can you say now specifically, since today is actually the premiere of this important event? What is the next step for you?
Muna godiya ga dukkan masu kallon mu gaba daya da kuma wayanda suka yi join da mu ma suna turo da sakonni duka muna gode musu masha Allah da kuma mutanen Lagos gaba daya su ma muna yi musu godiya masha Allah.
Yes, AGY says thank you everybody, especially the UVA crew down in Lagos. He would like to thank you guys. And I have a message here that says, when you see something going wrong in the society, say something. AGY has chosen to address it through the music, particularly this song. Yes, that's a message from Adiola. And this one says, stay safe for us, so Kano is not safe. So
No, Kano is safe.
yes, Kano is safe.
Kano is very, very safe. And
So
AGY is equally safe.
yes,
as
AGY
well.
Gokolele Kanka.
Exactly.
Damn, I wish I was half as brave. And this is a message from Tolu, our very own. And Abdullah Muhammad says, a testimony to him being on the right track and continuing is in knowing corruption and oppressors fight back. So stay firm, my brother, and maintain love, the message and the music. A beautiful message and from Abdullah. And Nuruddin says, the man has risen, embodied in the fearless voice of AGY, who defiantly refuses to bow to tyranny. Well, and I think if given the time, we can continue reading these messages and these comments. But thank you, everyone. Thank you for those that contributed. Thank you for those that played a part. And most especially, thank you to our executive producer, AG, who made everything possible. It was not easy, but we made it. And the video has been released today. And last but not least, the last message is from Barrister Kola Alapini. He says, good job, Dr. Pure. Well done, UVA. And thank you, AGY, for speaking truth to power. Fear no more. Right. Yes, so Lagos, and I don't know whether we can continue.
We can, because we can go on and on and on.
Yes, we can go on and on. Or do we hand, do we hand the microphone back to you guys? And we have one from Nicolia Basket says, freedom. So over to you.
Freedom vibe. Yeah, that's the slogan. When you say freedom, you say freedom vibes for those who are not aware. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the vibrant Unchained Vibes Africa live at Kano. And we have our representative, Dr. Pure and Ricky Ultra. I just want to also remind us, ladies and gentlemen, we have some very powerful and very key contributors to the Labarina process. AGY, impacting AGY himself. Ladies and gentlemen, one of those figures is right here on this live stream with us. He is the UVA board chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, this is no other person. I mean, a lot of you already know who I'm talking about, but I'm just going to go out to say it anyways. He's a man of several rankings. His shoulder might be longer than the train. Can take all the badge if possible. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have Mr. Jarman on the live stream, please, can you come up so you can give your goodwill message? But this is a huge shout out to you. I'm just going to give that brief second to see if it's going to come up in a bit.
I'm here.
Oh, good to have you. Wow. So I graciously pass the baton over to you, sir.
Well, I'm so sorry. I'm juggling two things. It's just very auspicious that we're launching this just about the same time that we're discussing the cultural policy of Nigeria, and I'm the lead speaker there. I just moderated the session. So I was begging Victor and the program manager, Mr. Ribisala, that please, you just have to forgive me if I'm not totally concentrated. But I've been listening to all the good messages. What I have to say is that the artist, as we always say, should own your truth. Own your truth. Be sincere in what you are pushing out. Be honest in what you are pushing out. And be conscious that circumspection is also part of art. You can create your work, but know that you are serving a community. And it's very dangerous for the art because when you are producing, you are not producing for yourself or the people in your household. There are so many people with other sensibilities who are listening to your work. For instance, if you end up denigrating a culture, or you end up denigrating somebody's personality or their own interest, they are likely to take it wrongly. So it means as an artist, you must be adept at doing your research. You must be very adept at research. You must be very adept at education. You have to be self-educated, not necessarily going to four walls of university or schools, but you must be educated in the culture that you are dealing with, and be very conscious of the environment in which you are operating, because the environment is not evil. It's not evil. What you think is right for you may not be right for the next person. What you think is culturally appropriate for you may not be appropriate for the other person. And significantly, you have to think in terms of the constitutional or the legal environment in which you are operating. What does the Constitution say about your work? What does the regulation say? You may not agree with the regulation, you may not agree with the law, but for as long as you are a member of the human community, or community of creatives, or community of people who shared interests, you have to respect the opinion of others. I will give a very simple example. If I say, do not wear your shoe into my room, you have no right to insist you must wear your shoe. The only option you have is not to enter my room. So why will you insist on entering my room with your shoe when my law says do not enter my room with your shoes? Because that's where conflict starts from. Okay? So as an artist, be truthful, or be truthful to your truth. Be honest in your creativity. Be sincere in what you are pushing out. But do not stop creating, because we're all creatives. And the first gift that God, Olodumare, Allah, gave us is to be able to use our intellect to produce. But then intellection also comes with circumspection. That's all I just like to say. To say that, well, as we said that we had a program last Sunday, that if you say you have freedom to create, also know that you have rights. The right to create also comes with responsibility, and you can apply it to your private family life. You and your spouse says, I don't eat this, but you say everybody must eat this. It cannot work. That's where conflict is starting from. On that note, I'd like to congratulate the artist for, being bold enough to produce his work. As we said in the room, this launching is just for civic engagement. We're not running a campaign. It's for civic engagement, for people to be able to engage with the work and use it to the benefit of all of us. But importantly, I'd like to congratulate UVA, Unchained Vibes Africa, for insisting that freedom is the first condition of humanity. Freedom and justice. Shoyinka says justice. I say freedom is the first, because freedom that will then lead us to justice. So I thank you all, and I thank everybody who has participated in this. And I hope that this is the beginning of this kind of engagement with the art. Because a lot of works are being produced, but we just consume them and we move on. But we can continue to engage them through this kind of launching, which is very novel to me. And I'd like us to do a lot more of this. So thank you very much. I hope I've not overstated my case. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, that is German Anikulapo once again, who is the chairperson at CORA, the Committee for Relevant Arts. These are Committee for Relevant Arts, Africa Defenders Network, including, like the executive producer mentioned, Files, Adebanto, and some very distinguished individuals were very significant to AGY's story, to the Labarina video that we have previewed today. I see some of those comments, I see your emojis, I see your chairs, I see your applause. Yeah, I want to thank you. I just want to remind you all that this music, the music, is alive on Audio Mac and SoundCloud. You can just search it out and you will find it on Audio Mac and SoundCloud right now. You can literally just do that on a separate tab or on your phones or something. But yeah, it's live, so you can always find it. You can Shazam it to pop up, right? And then also, this video will be streamed, this pre-recorded video will be streamed later today. So you can catch all of this. If you missed any part, you want to revisit any part, you can catch all of it live later on today in the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, I also want to highlight that we have a very distinguished and a very indefatigable, lawyer with us, someone who has stood with UVA in the thick and thin of the legal systems in Nigeria, well, in the whole of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, a multiple award-winning barrister. Well, who doesn't like to, that we blow his trumpet, but I'm sure he can hear me and he knows I'm talking about him. Some of you already know who I'm talking about. I'm going to call his name. And ladies and gentlemen, make welcome Barrister Kola Alapini. He's here, but you can cheer him from wherever you are, all right? He's sending his regards to you all. He's sending his warm, his heartfelt gratitude for this event. I mean, when you've been through this story trajectory up until this point, you can only just be grateful that it's coming out in triumph. And that's the feeling that he has right now, sending his warm regards to you all. Ladies and gentlemen, we are just right on time. I want to thank you all for participating. Please, am I missing somebody? You can just put it right there in the comments. Wherever you joined, Facebook, Instagram, right below in the comments, you can just leave it right there. Okay, Barrister Kola, we hear you. That's from Jemima Daniel. We're getting more shout outs to Barrister. Barrister is very strong. And like Barrister will always say, fear not. It's a very courageous something to say. Fear not, artists. And that is our chant today. Fear no more. Okay, fear no more. Okay, so we have a comment from Nuruddin Aribisala. Says the man has risen, embodied in the fearless voice of AGY, who defiantly refuses to bow to tyranny, which is indeed correct. Right about now, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the conclusion of this live stream. I'm gonna call on a colleague of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome Shegun to give the closing remarks.
Good morning, everyone. Distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, and dear friends. On behalf of Unchained Vibes Africa, UVA, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you for joining us for the official premiere of Labarina. Your presence and unwavering support mean the world to us and to the cause of artistic freedom. We especially appreciate the Committee for Relevant Art, CORA, represented by the esteemed Mr. Jama Nanikulapo and Mr. Tony Akinsho. Your dedication to the arts and cultural advocacy played a pivotal role in securing AGY Yakasai's release, and for that, we remain profoundly grateful. This project is more than just a music video. It is a powerful testament to resilience, free expression, and the ability of art to inspire change. AGY's journey is one of many, and through platforms like this, we continue to amplify the voices of artists who courageously speak truth to power. To our partners, supporters, and everyone who contributed to making this event a success, your commitment to justice and creative freedom keeps this movement alive. Let us continue to stand together in ensuring that no artist is silenced for using their voice. Once again, thank you all for being part of this significant occasion. We look forward to your continued support in our mission to promote human rights and artistic expression across Africa. Thank you. My name is Shegun Salah, Program Manager on Unchained Vibes Africa.
Thank you very much for that, Shegun Aribisala. Ladies and gentlemen, right after that vote of thanks, We have come to the end of this live stream, but it is not the end if you don't want it to be. So basically, you can stay if you want to engage with AGY. You can leave your comments. We're going to pop all the comments. We're going to try to go over all of the comments that we have right now. But officially, this event has been drawn. The curtains have been drawn closed. Thank you very much for participating. Please visit all our social media platforms and stay up to date with our programs on our website, www.agywyaksafrica.com. We are live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Nowadays, I notice a lot of us use TikTok. TikTok is quite active, and we are there and we are active. Ladies and gentlemen, engage with us. We have content, we have opportunities and grants for artists. So if you're an artist in Nigeria, we got your back. Check us out and check our YouTube for videos to stay up to date with artistic freedom cases like this and how to navigate these, I would rather call it a very treacherous terrain where we tread upon. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. I see Elizabeth Olude saying kudos to the team UVA AGY. Yeah, that's a great one from, I see another comment from MK. MK says, great event, guys. Big respect for AGY for his strong message and resilience. Freedom of speech should never be restrained. Greetings from PL. What's PL now? PL, our Kano representative. I think we can put up our Kano representative on the stage so we can interact. We can have a live chat if we still got them connected to us. I've got a comment from Adeola Goluba who says, Viva Artistic Freedom. So we have people connected from all over the world. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is Unchained Vibes Africa. We are happy, we are glad that you were able to join us today. I got a comment from DP, says you can find the song on AudioMac and SoundCloud for now, but the song will actually be on all streaming platforms, hopefully before the month runs out. I got a comment from Nicolea Baskete. That should be like a Zimbabwe name, The lyrics are so deep. Wow. Okay. That's for AGY. I'd like to see AGY's reaction. If we have them from Kano, please, can you put them up on the stage? We have another comment from Ruth Akban. The comment says, do not relent on this mission to speak the truth and to be the voice of the voiceless. That's a resounding comment from Ruth Akban. Thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you all for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, thank you all. I think Dr. Pio highlighted some of these comments already. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you for participating today. Thank you. I have a comment. I think this one is Muftahu Uba. She sounds like a Kano name or a Jigawa name. I can't really decipher. Says this guy is so bold. That's the thing. Most artists, they acknowledge AGY's story of resilience because this guy came out, spoke out, and became triumphant. That's exceptional. We've got a comment from Abdullahi Muhammad, says, thank you. It's our pleasure. I think you meant to say it's our pleasure, so I got you. Abdullahi, got you. Thank you very much for putting out that comment right there. I'm sure we're live. Okay, yeah. Yep, we're live in Kano. I think we can now expedite the vibes. Live.
Basically, what I wanted to say something. And I wanted to say, we should, call out to the other artists that are listening or the other artists that will probably watch this live stream, to encourage them to use their voices as a tool, and they say, the pen is mightier than the sword. And in my own case, I believe our voices are mightier than the nuclear bomb, because your voice, you can use it to amplify things negatively and positively. So, I urge all of the artists out there to use your voice and, and amplify. Let's all amplify our voices for the better, because change starts from us. And let's, use the opportunities that we have while we have them. And yeah, I got a message here. Adesola says, awesome, kudos to us. Yes. And a big shout out to everybody that joined the stream as well. I mean, you guys are amazing, taking time out and to watch the live video. A big shout out to everybody. God bless. It was a struggle, but it was a struggle well worth it. And I think, and we should hear some last words maybe from an AGY to hear what he has to say.
Very well, very well.
So AGY da Allah za mu so kaɗan rufe taron da wasu ‘yan kalmomin. But before then, I see another message from Haibat Dan Baba, all the way from Libya. Yes, a big shout out to Haibat Dan Baba. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, even though he did love the audio. When he heard the audio, he was like, I love this song. And exactly. Ruth says, go AGY. So AGY, Majidaka Gareka, Godia, say thank you to the viewers and any last messages. Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. Mutane suke yayo comment na yayi kyau, waka ta yi daɗi, na masu yabawa da wannan bidiyo da ake saki wannan rana daga ƙarƙashin jagorancin Unchained Vibes Africa. Sosai na ji daɗi, kuma ba abin da zan cewa da masoyana sai dai in ce na gode, Allah saka da alkhairi. Ina yi wa kowa kuma barka da sallah. A ci gaba da kasancewa da waƙoƙin da nake saki domin suna da ma'ana kuma da manufofi. Ya kamata a ce dukkan mutane suna bibiya, suna jin yadda muke faɗakar da shugabanni da kuma sauran al'umma domin su ma su ƙaru.
Well, you heard that, and AGY says thanks, but he also urges everybody to continue supporting his music, because as he says, if he continues to be producing conscious tracks, then he needs you guys to be streaming, listening, and supporting those tracks so that he can continue doing more. And I have a comment here from Ruth again. She says, do not be bribed to divert from the truth. Keep it up. To AGY, Ruth tace kakka yadda a baka cin hanci ka koma wani layin fa. Yes, ka koma wani layin, ka koma yin wani abu daban. Yes. No matter how much
you have to interpret that for the audience.
From Kano, my name is Sefullah Ibrahim, Dr. Pure, Ricky Ultra. Yes, and AGY, we say thank you very much. Thank you. God bless. And stream Labarina. Stream Labarina. God bless.
Streaming Labarina should be
freedom only. Oh, freedom only. That's all we ask. Freedom only. Oh, freedom only. Be a writer, write my words without no hindrances. I wanna be a musician, sing my song without no hindrances. I wanna be a filmmaker, make my movies without no hindrances. I wanna be an artist and do my heart without no hindrances. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Freedom. freedom only.